Everybody, it's Gilbert Nichols. I'm just coming to you again from the Empower Nichols blog, Gil and Larissa's show. Just wanted to rant a little bit about China. Now, everybody knows China is a big dog in the world politics, and with the most people that they have between their borders, and that they also have one of the largest communist controlled governments in the world. And but we also know that they've made a lot of advances over the years. They've really gone from being somewhat what seemed to be behind the times to being very much ahead of the times, or at least equal with a lot of the Western countries such as the United States and Australia and the UK. But what we find out lately is that they've gotten a little too big for their britches. Now, we in this country know that term, too big for your britches. It's kind of like, kind of like that plumber that is bending down underneath the sink, and he's basically, he's showing his crack. I mean, just lack of a better term, he's still too big for his britches. He pull his pants up, and his crack is showing. Well, that's about what China's doing. See, China has been breaching, using the different word here, breaching the U.S. military, according to the Pentagon, as I've read just recently in the Philippine Star newspaper, saying that the people in the Pentagon are saying, hey, China has come in and started taking a look around through a cyber attack to steal secrets on some of our advanced weaponry. Now, let me ask you something. I mean, if you want to be friends with somebody, wouldn't it make sense you come knock at the door and say, hey, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones and strike up a friendship here and get to know us and work with us in a friendly way and actually work against the tide of communism and for the promotion of democracy throughout the world, human rights issues, things of that nature, like the rest of the world is very mindful of doing. But instead, China is showing their butt crack by showing that they don't like to be able to handle a relationship the way the rest of the world thinks they ought to handle a relationship. They want to send in a cyber attack and steal our secrets, and then so they can try and be as good or better than we are, and say that it's all's fair in love and war. Well, let's just remind the Chinese very, very critically here that if it wasn't for the Americans back in the late 1930s, early 1940s, you'd all be speaking Japanese right now. I might remind you that Chiang Kai-shek said, hey, we need some people in the Air Force that would volunteer to come over and fight in the Flying Tigers against the invading Japanese army. And thanks to the combined efforts of Americans, Australians, and people around the world, we were able to keep Chinese people speaking Chinese, and we were able to hold back the aggression at that time of the Japanese. Well, now the Japanese are our allies. They're our friends. We're there to help them any way we can. And we're willing to do that with anybody who's willing to look at the world in a democratic, and I mean with a democracy that is fair for all, and not something that is one-sided like is the typical communist regime. We saw that with Russia when Soviet Russia dropped all their ties with their individual states of the USSR and let them all become individualized states. That that there's many freedoms that were allotted, and so in the same way, here communist China wants to try and come in and steal our secrets, and also they steal, been known to steal our patents and turn around and make something inferior and sell them back to us because they're made cheaper and typically with a lot of quality issues. We remember the case in point toys that were developed by China and painted and delivered to the United States, only to be found to have high content of lead in the paint. Doesn't sound like they have a real high regard for their customers, that they would want to do that sort of thing. So many different inferiorities that do not speak well of the general Chinese public, who many times I find to be very amiable, very cordial, very respectful people, and yet their government wants to go behind people's backs and a cyber attack and steal military secrets. I would not be very happy with the people who run a country that would do something like that. And I would hope that the people of China would wake up and see that we are not going to put up with it, and that we're going to put every safeguard we can and challenge them at this thievery and show them that there is a better way. And there is a better way. Now, as for me, I'm doing this as a blog post for Empower Network, and it's my blog post for my blog, empowernetwork.com/LNN, and I would invite you to come take a look. And while you're there, leave a comment, maybe retweet or reshare this message, and let's get the word out about China and about their being too big for their britches, and let's cover up that crack so that we can get on with life and not be grossed out anymore. And this is Gilbert Nichols, and I would invite you to leave a comment, leave your email. Let's get connected, and let's have a relationship, and let's go on from here and learn more things that we can do to touch people's lives in a positive way. Have a great day.